And so what we have there, as you're seeing, is the tree of Jesse on the left and the Nativity of Christ on the right. The inscription's a little bit blocked off, the finish of the inscription, but the Nativity of Christ. And this is from a church in Souderton, Pennsylvania, where Father Simeon served. And when he was going to seminary, I think he's mentioned it in the past. And it just so happens that part of the theme iconographically within the church is to have these pairings of Old Testament icons beside their New Testament fulfillment, which is not just something that happens in Orthodox iconography or ancient Christian iconography and imagery, but in our hymnography, you have this weaving together in the hymnography of the Old Testament and the New, like with the coming of Christ, the incarnation, this event here on the right, and the kind of full disclosure that God gives to mankind through Jesus becoming man of this mind-blowing and mind-expanding understanding of all things in as much as humans can now understand them, which is then an understanding that goes not just internally within us, but forward in time and backward in time. And so then when Christians experiencing the birth and incarnation of Christ look back at everything in history as recorded in the Old Testament leading up to this event, saying, oh, there's Jesus there. 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 And so much so that it's really wonderful to have this icon of the tree of Jesse, which is unlike the other paired icons at this church, St. Philip in Souderton, where there's really one story beside their New Testament fulfillment. For example, the crossing of the Red Sea by the icon of the Theophany, or Noah's Ark by the Pentecost. Um, Here you have really with every one of those figures in the Jesse tree and the Jesse tree itself, every single one of them is a story and a sermon, which is the Christians looking back at the Old Testament and pointing and saying, "Oh, yes, we see that Jesus was referenced here, there, here and there, here and there, here and there."